Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Elizabeth Yearwood, and I am with the Small Business Administration. And we have Kelley Millar from Greater Omaha SCORE, and she's going to be presenting for us today. And I just wanted to take a super quick moment to tell you about the Small Business Administration if you are not familiar with us. We are the go-to federal resource for getting help with starting, growing, expanding, and recovering your small business. So if anybody has any questions on how we can help you, then by all means, chat with me afterwards, and I'm happy to give you any information that I can. And that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Kelley.
Hello and welcome. So we have a fun topic today of online reputation management. So let me go ahead and share my screen. If you have any questions during the presentation, just click on the chat box there at the bottom of your screen and type it in, and Elizabeth she and I are going to be doing questions throughout the presentation. So just go ahead and toss your question in there and you'll be good to go. And let me see here. All right. So online reputation management. Question is, what does online reputation management mean to you? It's hard to believe that even now, some small businesses think that if they're not online, like if they don't have any social media pages, or if they don't have a website and just an Etsy shop, that they don't really need to manage an online reputation because they don't have one really, because all they have is their little Etsy shop. But this presentation is going to show you that that's not quite the case, because whether you want to be online or have an online reputation or not, everyone else will decide that for you. So oftentimes entrepreneurs don't need to worry about being online, like I just shared with you. But how many of you, when you're deciding to buy a product, deciding to purchase a service, get new carpeting, a new painter, any type of thing like that, how often do you go online first, research the company or the person that you're wanting to work with, and then make a decision? So, of course, in 2018, 46.1% of people did their research online before purchasing an item. And then oftentimes, whatever the reviews were or anything like that did affect what that person's decision was. So people will research you long before they consider hiring you for a service. That is why it's so incredibly important for you to be out there and you create the narrative for your own business. So when you did research a product online, did the reviews affect your decision? Oftentimes, you're going to go check out reviews, Google reviews, Facebook reviews. If you're wanting to go to a restaurant, you're going to look at Yelp reviews. So when you're reading those reviews, of course, you have to understand that what one person absolutely loves, another person's absolutely going to hate, and there's all that in between. But I think if they have enough reviews, you can kind of get a feel for that particular company or service. I was a hotelier for many years, and it was astounding the number of reviews that if the people were in the same room, one here, right next door to each other, same hotel, same property, same date, and the black and white difference in the reviews. It was amazing. So you have to be able to read those reviews, make up your own mind, and then make a decision based on those reviews. So bottom line, as a brand, a business, an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a side hustler, any of those things, you either control the message or the message will control you. So my recommendation is to make sure you're observing what is being said about your business, what is going on with your business online, and making sure that you're controlling the message. So the different elements of online reputation management is, of course, your website, the social media platforms, and those, there's so many coming and going. And, now you have to add in TikTok, maybe even Snapchat, depending on the age of your ideal client. Blogs, Google and other search engine, review sites, and industry sites. People forget about their industry sites. So, Elizabeth, are there any questions currently? No questions?
I'm so sorry. I couldn't find the mute button. No,
Okay.
I swear I am here and I am listening. I just can't use my mouse. No,
okay.
not right now.
Okay. All right. So your website is incredibly important, even if it's just a simple landing page that says, this is my business, this is what we do, and this is who we are, this is how you contact us. So it's critical that, of course, you have a branded domain. If your company is XYZ Wallpaper, then of course you want to try and get xyzwallpaper.com. Of course, now there's a variety of options available with .co, .net, so many different whatever's coming up. So you have some more flexibility there because a lot of .com names are already taken, but then you can maybe switch to another .co even. And of course, is your email branded? When you have a business and you want to be taken seriously and you want people to know you are legit, then you have got to have a branded email. So saying XYZ wallpaper at Gmail is not, that does not say, yes, I'm a serious business and I take my business serious and I want to make sure people know about it, because it seems kind of fly-by-nighty and just kind of questionable if you don't have a branded email. So you want either hello or info or your name at xyzwallpaper.com, because then it's like, oh, someone sees your email, then they can see what your domain name is even and go straight to your website and check you out. So it's so important to have a branded email to seem legit and honest and just transparent. So how good is your branding? Branding is important, and branding, that term is used a lot in different ways now, but it's kind of like your brand. And a lot of small businesses, you are the brand because it's like your small business. So you're the one that's always out there. You're the one it's your voice. But it's important to have a logo, even if it's just a simple logo with 3 different colors or just a couple colors in a specific font. So then when you have your logo out there, it can start being recognized by people as a part of your business. So as soon as they see that, they're going to be like, oh, this is XYZ Wallpaper. They're awesome. Or I've seen great reviews about them. So your brand colors, your brand fonts, those things you want to be consistent throughout your website, your social media posts, your blog, all of those things, you want to be consistent in your brand look, your brand voice. So, any questions?
Kelley, yeah, actually, there was just one quick question about getting a domain. Is that free, or are there different price options?
Usually you can go to like GoDaddy or whoever you want to host your website. They're usually like $14 a year, but then you have to have hosting to host your website. And there's all those different things. You can pay companies to host your site and do all the things. But I strongly recommend that when you purchase your domain and your hosting, that even if you hire somebody to develop your website for you, make absolute sure that you have the back end access to your website. Because if you change your brand colors and you do a new logo, you can just go in and fix all that stuff and add some new text and new copy and new pictures instead of having to send an email to somebody to do it. Don't even get me started on that. But anyway, so yes, you can buy a website domain for like $14, $15, $17 a year. They're usually never free. So was there another question, Elizabeth?
No, that was it. And thank you for that info.
Okay, I saw something pop up. So on your website, who are you speaking to directly? And this comes into who are your client avatars. So your client avatar is like, who is it that you want to serve? Of course, we all want to serve everybody because the more you serve, the more money you're going to make and all that. But that's really not true, because just like in life, everybody doesn't like everybody. Everybody doesn't connect with everybody. So you're going to have specific people that you ideally want to work with. So you need to sit down and think, okay, who are my top 4 clients? Who are those people that I want to work with? Let's go back to the wallpaper company. So you want to speak with, say you're a really good wallpaper hanger and you only want to do really high-end homes. So you want to work with high-end designers. You want to work with contractors that only work with high-end clients, like those multi-million-dollar homes when they're being built. You want to have those relationships with those contractors, so then they'll reach out to you when their client is going to need wallpaper. What age range, your client avatar, you want to think about, like, have in your head the person specifically you want to work with, like make them real to you. What's their name? How old are they? What's their income? Where do they live? What interests them? Where do they find wallpaper people online? Like a perfect example for the wall covering person is like Wall Covering Installers Association is their, my mind just went blank. That is a association that's for wallpaper hangers. So early on I had said pick an association or something that you're directly related to. So is your content concise? Does it quickly answer the pain points that your ideal client is having? So a high-end designer is going to want to know, do you work with high-end papers? Are you available in an area in which they're looking for a high-end paper hanger? So those types of things you want to immediately put concisely on your website. How many times do you go to a website and it's blah, 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 blah. You have like 3 seconds, 3 to 7 seconds to get somebody's attention on your website. So you want to be concise, bullet points, get your point across as quickly as possible. Does your website answer the most frequently asked questions people have about your product or service? So an FAQ page is great to have on your website. And maybe in the beginning, you don't know what questions are going to be asked on a regular basis, but kind of think about some of the pain points that people have, or like a wallpaper person, how long will it be before you can install? So things like that. Try and have an FAQ page where you can answer people's questions right up front, so they're not standing back going, I don't even know what these people are doing and I don't have my questions answered. So just make sure. And as people ask you questions about your products and services, kind of write them all down as they come in, or when people are asking you, because then if you see the same question is being asked over and over, you can then put that on your FAQ page and it'll be addressed immediately. Is it clear how to contact you? How many times have you gone to a website and like there's no email address, there's no link to click on, there's oftentimes the contact page, which is great, that shoots it right to the company, but make sure it's clear how these people can contact you. Do you have the links to your social platforms? Absolutely, add those to your website, because you want, if somebody's like checking you out, learning about you, they're going to want to go more in depth about you on your social platforms. So have those links readily available for people to get to your socials. Any questions?
Not so far, no.
Okay. So there's so many social platforms, and they just keep coming, right? My absolute recommendation is to do your Google My Business page, because that sets you up well for the Google search engine. Of course, you have to be active with it and all those things, but absolutely do your Google My Business page, because if somebody Googles your business, then you control the information that shows up. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, so many options, so many options. So people ask, do I have to do them all? No, do not do them all unless you have time and the knowledge to do them. And we'll address that in just a few minutes, but just pick one or two that your ideal client is on. If you are doing a product, say energy drinks, your primary target age is like 15 to 30 maybe. So you want to be on a platform that those people hang out, and that's going to be TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. If it's an older demographic, certainly LinkedIn, Facebook. Pinterest is, I personally don't do a lot of Pinterest, but just you could research and see what demographic is generally on Pinterest. So how often are you engaging on your platforms with your audience? So keep in mind, social media is not just a one-way street. People forget that oftentimes. It is supposed to be a two-way street. You are supposed to be engaging with your audience, not just throwing stuff at them. It's important to ask the questions, comment when somebody comments on your post, acknowledge it, let them know you're hearing them, you're seeing them. With Instagram and Facebook stories, like Instagram stories is phenomenal for interaction. You will find if you do Instagram stories and not just posting on your page, that your profile views will go up and up and up. It's amazing. I had that experience myself when I started doing Instagram stories, and it's phenomenal. So I suggest take 2 weeks, start doing Instagram stories, and see how that changes for you in your analytics. Any questions?
Yes, we do have one. When you're talking about engagement, what do you do if you post often, but you're not getting any engagement from your audience?
That is so frustrating, because you feel like you're just yelling out there, hello, 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 to a black hole. I get you there. So what I suggest on that is, I always recommend to my social media clients, get like your 5 best friends or the 5 people that you know you can count on, and start asking them to like, comment, and share all of your posts. because then other people are going to see your information, and then that's going to start drawing in people organically. Of course, you can start paying for ads on platforms, but that is expensive. And until you get your own engagement rolling, it's hard. All I can say is get your 5 best friends on board with you, and also just keep at it. A Facebook plan, or not just Facebook, but social media plans, it's a long game. It's not just quick. The other thing is, ask yourself, am I not sharing the information my audience really wants to see? And of course, it's that 80-20 rule. 80% should be informative, educational, funny, interesting. 20% should be selling. Back to the wallpaper person, their company. So what else would somebody that's looking for wallpaper, what else would they be interested in? They'd be interested in decorating tips. They'd be interested in remodeling, things like that. So feel free to share information outside of your specific lane that kind of dovetails it, so that you're kind of sharing a whole picture of what that person may want their house to look like. So, reviews on Facebook and Google. It's really important to ask your clients for reviews, because again, going back to what I originally started with, people will read your reviews and see what there is to say about your business. So after you've had a transaction, or you've done a service for someone, or they've purchased something, don't hesitate to, a week later, send out an email saying, I really appreciate your business. Here's my link for a Facebook review or a Google review. I would really love for you to share your input on how you felt about my product or service. Blogs, why should you blog and how often? The blogging. So of course, I struggle with that, because I personally, writing is not my thing. Blogs are, as much as I try and force myself to blog regularly, it just doesn't happen. It'll happen for a couple of weeks or a couple months, and then I just drop it. But it is so important, because even if you don't blog for yourself, do you know somebody that can write a blog for you, that knows your business, knows your services, and can articulate your message and voice in a written blog? Because it's just a great way. It gives you social media posts, because you can email people your current blog, then you can post it on your social media. And there's just a lot of different ways to repurpose a blog post for traffic to your website. You can do guest blogs. I often will share other people's blogs that have the same information that I would share, they kind of think like I do. They have the information right there, so it's already written. But of course, you share the link to their blog. You don't just copy and paste it as your own. Never do that. That's heinous. So credit the person who wrote the blog, share the blog, just use the link on there. Now, how often do you blog? That is entirely up to you, but all I can say is consistency is the key. Whether it's once a month, once a week, once quarterly, really only you can determine what works in your schedule and how much writing you want to do, but just be consistent. Yes. So have you searched reviews for and your company name? Have you seen any reviews that surprised you? Do you know what people are saying? So you always need to respond to a review, whether it's good or bad. Reviews are important, and that is something that a customer of yours thought and felt. Whether you agree with it or not, that is their opinion. You know, that's their feelings. They're allowed to have them. But when it's negative, you wish they wouldn't put it online. I know. So, and if you have searched your company on like Yelp, Google, Angie's List, any of those types of places, do you like what you see? And do you have the ability to respond? Industry sites, that's the term I couldn't come up with a few minutes ago. But is your company listed on any industry sites? So if you're a painter, are you on the Painters Association? Or if you're a designer, on the Designer Association? There's an association for absolutely everything. Everything. So find that association and see if they have a place where you can list your business. Have complementary industries mentioned your business on their website or blog. So this wallpaper person has a designer mention the work that they did while they were writing a blog about a home that they designed. So it's always great if a complementary industry shares or speaks about you on their blog or their website. So that is amazing. And then you could do the same for people that you work with on a regular basis. It's just that collaboration piece is incredibly important. So keeping up with all the things, but sometimes it can feel overwhelming because you've got your website, you have your social platforms, you have just random review sites or people talking about you and you don't even know it. So set up Google Alerts. That is a quick and easy way to know immediately if somebody has mentioned your business name or your name anywhere out there in the world of the World Wide Web. So also, of course, sorry, I skipped excellent customer service. Of course, that to me is just a given. And especially with contractors, painters, wallpapers, like those trade people, everybody knows like their contractor never calls them back. Their painter never calls them back. They don't show up on time for the job that they said they would be there for. So if you want to rise above all the noise out there, then make sure customer service is an absolute priority to you, your business, your employees. Make your customers feel wanted and appreciated. So who's not going to shop at a place where they feel wanted and appreciated? So definitely customer service. I can't stress that enough. If you see something online about your business, or if somebody responds again on a social media platform, or they write a review on Google or on Facebook or anywhere that you see another opportunity for reviews to be written, when you set up your Google alerts, you'll see them all. So if you have the opportunity and ability to respond, always respond, because then that person, whether it's positive or negative, they feel heard. And when you respond to them, they feel appreciated and heard, and they're going to want to learn more about you. And all the people out there that are just kind of voyeurs watching what's going on with your business and they don't engage, but they're seeing it, then they understand that you are somebody that cares about their clients and their customers, because you take the time to respond and you're building those relationships. how much social media should you do? So only be on the social platforms you have time to manage, and make sure that the ones that you have time to manage are the ones that your ideal client is on. If you don't have the time, the ability, the knowledge to make a plan, work your plan, and do it well, hire a social media manager. And when I say hire a social media manager, I'm not talking about your next door neighbor's 16-year-old kid who knows how to use social media. There is a lot of work and a lot of time and effort that should go into your social media plan. You want somebody that knows what they're doing. They know what platforms your ideal clients are on. They know how to write to your ideal avatars. You will pay a decent amount of money for a good social media manager, but it's absolutely worth the money. The challenge is defining the ROI for the money that you're paying a social media manager. So you can't always define your return on investment, because there's that person that is just watching your social platforms. They don't engage a whole lot, but they see your posts, they look at them, they watch your videos that you're doing, but they don't really engage with you. But their child says, oh, I need XYZ. And they're like, oh, hey, call the XYZ wallpaper company. That was a bad example, but you understand what I'm saying. Your best friend wants to have her house re-wallpapered, and you've been watching the wallpaper stuff because you just love the beauty of all the new wallpapers coming out, and the information and the colors and the textures and all the things. So you have a person that promotes your business to some other person, but that other person has never been on your social platforms or on your website or on your anything, but yet you're going to make a sale from that person. Do you understand? So it's hard to determine the ROI. And you can't ask a social media manager that, okay, I will contract with you if you promise 500 followers in the next 3 months, because that's not how it works. You want people that genuinely want to be on your social platforms. You don't want somebody just to buy 500 followers, because they're not real. They don't care about your product. They don't care about your service. They're not going to engage. It's not the numbers that matter of how many followers you have. It's the engagement that matters. You want people on your social platforms that will engage with you. So back to customer service and professionalism. Of course, return the phone calls, send proposals in a speedy fashion, meet your deadlines. If there's going to be a delay or something isn't working out right, let them know. It's all about communication and just letting people know what's going on. Yeah, is that a hard call to say, hey, I cannot come this next week, something happened? Your customer might be annoyed that you're not coming when you said you would, but at least you're telling them, and you're not just not showing up and hoping that when you call them 3 weeks from now, they still want you to do the work. So it's important to communicate with people. And of course, expect the same from your team, that you want that excellent customer service from them. Any questions?
Nope, not at the moment.
Okay. So I had mentioned setting up Google Alerts. Here's the step-by-step. And yesterday I went online, and it's kind of different now than it used to be. But if you go to google.com/alerts, then you will see this particular page to complete. So up in here, you put the things you want alerted about. So I would put your company name, your name, that kind of thing. And then you have some options here. How often do you want to know? What's the source? Like, they'll automatically email you or whatever. What language, what region? Like, do you only sell your product or service in Omaha? Well, you could put Omaha, or you could put Nebraska, or the whole country, or the whole world. So you have, you can go as big as you need to. How many alerts do you want? And of course, that one says only the best matches, and deliver it to, and then you can put in where you want it delivered. So you can have it emailed to you. That way, every time somebody mentions, every time somebody mentions Kelley & Co., Kelley & Co. LLC, Kelley Millar, and then I have, we have 3 separate product lines under the Kelley & Co. LLC umbrella. So I will eventually add those in there. So it's good just to know what's going on, and you get alerted if your name comes up. Okay, back to responding to all comments and reviews. Even if the comment or review is negative, respond in a positive manner. It's, that proverbial, I'm sorry you feel that way. But just say, thank you for the information. Please reach out directly so we can further discuss this. Because you want that conversation offline then. And you really do, if it's important to you, which it should be. You should give them an email address to reach out, or your business phone number, and talk to them and find out what happened. Sometimes we don't like to hear what is not working in our business, but that is a major growth point for you, and it can help you be more successful further down the line. So do not get into a back and forth in a negative manner with a person. So if somebody says, I don't want to reach out to you, your products suck, that's all you need to know, let it go. I know you want to get back on there and go, but my products don't suck, we're great, da, 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 da. Don't do it. Don't engage. Just, you reached out, you gave them an opportunity to further reach out to you and deal with it. And if they don't want to, then just don't push it. I'm sure you've all seen stories of, like, that bakery. I don't even remember where it was, but it was a couple years ago. The woman went crazy on people in the comments, and it was just a complete shit show for that bakery. They ended up closing because it was horrible. So you just got to rein it in, take a deep breath, and let it go. Respond once, because not only is it the person that gave you the negative review seeing what you're doing, it's all those other people later down the line that you are potential customers or current customers that are going to see how you handle a situation like that. Respond, let's take it offline, and then drop it. Just drop it. Do not delete bad reviews or bad comments either, because people see them. People probably snapshot them. So then you just look like you're trying to hide from an uncomfortable place. Don't. Acknowledge it head on and let it go. So let me tell you a duck story. This duck story. So I did social media management for a flooring company for about 2 years. And this was in another community in which I lived. So one evening, the owner of the flooring company calls me and he goes, Kelley, we have a problem on Facebook. I'm like, what's going on? Well, as it turns out, and this is a perfect example of you don't always control the narrative. Apparently, at one of the community pages, somebody posted that a driver of this flooring company's vehicle ran over a duck at one of the parks. And people were up in arms about it. So he's like, what do I do? What do I do? I said, of course, I would work as them. So I went on and I acknowledged the incident, apologized, and asked, is there anything that we can do to help with the issue. And then people started coming on the company's Facebook page and talking about it. So again, we had to get in front of it and acknowledge, okay, the duck was killed. Unfortunately, the driver did not see the duck. You know, we had to do the whole thing, and that the driver was being dealt with internally, blah, blah, blah. So ultimately, the owner of the business donated money to save the duck fund for that particular park. So, and people were appeased, they were happy, they are glad that the owner of the business acknowledged that this happened, acknowledged that he was dealing with it, and did what it took to rectify the problem. Yes, you can't bring the duck back, but you can be a good steward of your community and do something that would be helpful in the future. So if you have vehicles with your business name on them, that is one of those times you have very little, if any, control about what people are seeing, what people are saying. I mean, how many times has somebody cut you off in a branded vehicle and you're like, I just want to call that business and tell them their driver's a jerk or whatever. So you have to be ready and prepared to get out in front of a situation if something like that happens. So again, just hire a social media manager if you don't have time, energy, or knowledge to do your social media. Do you have time to deal with somebody that's complaining about one of your workers hitting a duck? Or do you want to hire a social media manager to do that? So there's hundreds of virtual assistants out there that do that. So every business has an online reputation, whether you control the reputation or not, whether you control the messaging or not. So my suggestion is you make sure that you're out there online, aware of what's being said about your business, and you should control the narrative as much as you possibly can. Even if you think you don't have an online presence, because it astounds me that some people still don't have a Facebook page for their business or a website, but somebody out there is talking about you. Even if it's just your Etsy page, somebody's talking about you. So again, you can either control the message or the message can control your business. So any questions?
I am not seeing any at the moment. If anybody does have any questions, please feel free to put them into the chat box.
Yes. So quickly, again, thank you to SCORE and the SBA. SCORE, I am a mentor for SCORE in the Omaha area, but of course I have clients all over because you can pick anybody. So SCORE is phenomenal for any type of business, small business, solopreneur, anybody in business. Either if you're just starting out, you're trying to do something different, you want to go get funding, you need somebody just to knock around ideas with that is their area of expertise. Reach out to SCORE and you can sign up for a mentor. It is free. They have so many programs and opportunities, just like this webinar, that are free to utilize, and it's great. So definitely reach out to SCORE. Okay, did any questions come in?
No, we did have a couple of comments, though, that it's been really great information and well shared.
Thank you.
So thank you all for
very
your
much.
comments.
Do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions or you need clarification on anything. I'll send out the slides to everybody, and also this will be uploaded to the SCORE YouTube channel soon. Give me a day or two to do that, and it will be up there to look at again if you want to review any of the information.
Oh, and Kelley, we did have one quick other question about SCORE, if that's open to folks outside of the Omaha area.
Yes, it's SCOREs all over the country. Like all over the country. So if you just go to Google, it's probably score.org, I think.
Score.org.
Yeah, score.org. And then you can put in either the type of mentor you're looking for, because I do marketing mentoring. So people will look for a marketing mentor. So I get people from all over. So yeah, you can find somebody that you feel like you click with and just reach out to them.
And just to put a plug in for that website too, score.org, they have tons of free webinars every month. Everything they do is also recorded, and a lot of them have to do with social media and marketing, blogging.
Yes.
I mean, pretty much you name it, and they're all by professionals. I mean, it's just a really good resource, and they're all free. They've got a huge online library.
Yes. So if no one
Any
else
other
has a
questions?
question, all right. Everybody have a super sparkly day. Bye.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
I have one last question.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
No, you guys, I'm going through Opportunity Passport, and one of the ladies said that once the class is completed, I will get like a certificate or something for completing this webinar. Is that true, or is that not?
I'm not familiar what Opportunity Passport is. Is that something?
Yeah, it's something in Omaha. It's like it's a matching program for like youth or whatever that was in a foster system. And they told me once I completed the class that like basically they need proof that I completed, two webinars through SCORE. And I
Okay.
just don't know how to get. Yeah, I don't. Is there a way I can get proof that I did this webinar, or how do I go about,
I
that
can
situation?
email you something. I'll email you
Okay.
something.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.